And I am pleased to represent the United States Citizenship and Immigration Services within the Department of Homeland Security at these proceedings today. Your Honor, there are 405 applicants for naturalization present who wish to change their name as part of the naturalization process. The government has investigated the reasons for these changes and interposes no objection. I respectfully move that all 405 name changes be allowed. Thank you, Your Honor. Thank you, Your Honor. Your Honor, there are 2,525 applicants for naturalization present here today from 132 different countries. Each applicant has been duly examined under the provisions of the Immigration and Nationality Act of 1952 as amended, and each has been found well qualified for United States citizenship. At this time, I respectfully move that you request the clerk of the court to administer the oath of allegiance to all 2,525 applicants, thus bestowing upon them one of our nation's highest honors, United States citizenship.
That motion will be allowed as well.
Applicants for citizenship, please stand. Raise your right hand and repeat after me, saying your name after the word I. I. You have to say your name. Hereby declare on oath that I absolutely and entirely renounce and abjure all allegiance and fidelity to any foreign prince or potentate, state or sovereignty, of whom or of which I have heretofore been a subject or citizen, that I will support and defend the Constitution and laws of the United States of America against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same, that I will bear arms on behalf of the United States when required by the law, that I will perform non-combatant service in the armed forces of the United States when required by the law, that I will perform work of national importance under civilian direction when required by the law, that I take this obligation freely without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion. So help me God. You may be seated.
It's my great pleasure to be the first person to give your new job as citizens of the United States. You know, one of the greatest judges this nation has ever known, Felix Frankfurt, became a naturalized citizen when his father took an oath like the oath that you just took after immigrating here from Boston. A newspaper reporter asked Felix Frankfurt, while he was a sitting justice of the United States Supreme Court toward the end of his career, He said, what was the most important office that you ever held? And this man who'd been an advisor to President Wilson, to both the presidents, Roosevelt, who was a professor at the Harvard Law School, and one of our greatest Supreme Court justices, didn't blink. He answered immediately. The most important office that I've ever held is the most important office that the United States has to offer. That is citizen of the United States. And so it is my great pleasure, and more specifically my great honor, to welcome you to this highest office our nation has to bestow, citizenship. You know, over 40 years ago, President Lyndon Johnson signed the immigration bill which transformed the way in which countries from which persons are admitted to citizenship in the United States. And at that time, he gave a short talk that I think is equally meaningful today. He said, our nation, America, was built by a collection of strangers from 100 different lands or more. They poured forth into the empty land, joining and blending into one mighty, irresistible stream. The land flourished because it was fed from so many sources, because it was nourished by so many cultures and traditions and peoples. And from this experience, unique in the history of nations, has come America's better attitudes toward the rest of the world. We, because of what we are, where we all came from, feel safer and stronger in a world that is as myriad as the people who are citizens of the United States. And I don't want to dwell on the anniversary today of 9/11, but it seems to me that one thing that we can say is the resilience of the United States after that attack is as a result of the many different cultures which have blended together to provide continued strength for this nation. So as I look out this afternoon, I see a variety of faces, all of them smiling, representing the very different lands from which you come. I think how farsighted President Johnson was when he signed that bill. And I want to illustrate the variety of places that you've come from. So I'm going to ask you to help me demonstrate to all of you how varied this country is. What I'd like you to do is I'm going to name each of the countries from which new citizens have come. When I name your country, stand up and stay standing, once you've been called. The people from Albania are going to be standing for a very long time. The people from Zimbabwe are going to be not quite so long, but I want you to see all the different places that new citizens come and have come here today. So let me start. Albania. I agree with you that Albania needs applause on this occasion, but sir, if you can remain standing. But I'm going to ask you to hold your applause because we've got quite a few countries to go through here. Algeria, Angola, Antigua, Barbados, Argentina. Please stand. Once you've stood, you've got to stay standing until the end. Armenia, Australia, Austria, Azerbaijan, Bahamas, Bangladesh, Barbados, Belarus, Belgium, Belize, Bolivia, Bosnia-Herzegovina, Brazil. We have a large number of people here today. We have an entire soccer league. Bulgaria, Burkina Faso, Burma, Cambodia, Cameroon, Canada, Cape Verde, Chile, the People's Republic of China, Colombia, Congo, Kinshasa, Costa Rica, the Ivory Coast, Cuba, the Czech Republic, Czechoslovakia, Denmark, Dominica. I think some people in the Dominican Republic also speak. That's the baseball league. Ecuador, Egypt, El Salvador, Eritrea, Ethiopia, Finland, France, Georgia, Germany, Ghana, Greece, Grenada, Guatemala, Guinea-Bissau, Guyana, Haiti, Honduras, Hong Kong, Iceland, India, Indonesia, Iran, Iraq, Ireland, Israel, Italy, Jamaica, Japan, Jordan, Kenya, Korea, Kuwait, Kazakhstan, Laos, Latvia, Lebanon, Liberia, Lithuania, Malaysia, Mali, Mauritius, Mexico, Moldova, Montserrat, Morocco, Bahrain, Netherlands, New Zealand, Nicaragua, Nigeria, Pakistan, Panama, Paraguay, Peru, Philippines, Poland, Romania, Russia, South Tame and Principe, Saudi Arabia, Senegal, Serbia and Montenegro, Slovakia, Somalia, South Africa, South Korea, Spain, Sri Lanka, St. Kitts and Nevis, St. Vincent's Grenadines, Sudan, Sweden, Syria, Taiwan, Tanzania, Thailand, Gambia, Trinidad and Tobago, Tunisia, Turkey, Uganda, Ukraine, United Arab Emirates, United Kingdom, Uruguay, Uzbekistan, Venezuela, Vietnam, Yemen, Yugoslavia, and Zimbabwe. So you see how the far side is talking about the various streams of immigration in this country. It's a larger point. We are here, each of us, because our fathers or our grandfathers, our mothers or our grandmothers, great-grandparents stood in a place not quite so nice as this. It took an oath, just like Justice Frankfurter's father did. They were strangers who had chosen to become fellow citizens. They made us all flourish, nourishing moments in this land of ours. That's not a vision that was unique to President Johnson when he signed the immigration bill in the 1960s. Our recent presidents of both political parties have reaffirmed that vision. Our last president, George W. Bush, put it this way: America's welcoming society is more than a cultural tradition. It is a fundamental promise of democracy. Our Constitution does not limit citizenship by background or birth. Instead, our nation is bound together by a shared love of liberty and a conviction that all people are created with dignity and value. Throughout the generations, Americans have upheld that vision by welcoming new citizens who are across the globe. And that is what has made us stand apart. And our current president, Barack Obama, emphasized this point very early in his administration, the very first naturalization ceremony that he conducted at the White House. President Obama observed, for more than 2 centuries, this nation has become a beacon of hope and opportunity. A place that has drawn enterprising men and women from around the world who have sought to build a life as good as their talents and hard work will allow. And generation after generation have come to these shores because they believe that in America, all things are possible. President's life story, I suggest to you, as I believe life stories of each of you and your children tell us now and will tell us in the future that anything is possible for the sons of immigrants of America, because this is a nation of immigrants. I've asked Ambassador Reagan, who was mayor of Boston, to speak to you today. His career in public service spanned the state legislature, serving as the mayor, serving as the ambassador to America. But there's one defining theme, and that theme is affirming the dignity and value of your